Hey, I wanted to jump on here this evening and discuss this book that I've been reading, Free to Focus by Michael Hyatt. And I was on here a couple weeks ago, gave an introduction to the book. Medical issues kept me sidetracked, but we're back on track now and wanted to discuss chapter one. And chapter one talks about the title is Formulate, deciding what you want, to decide what you want. What's that focus that you want? And he discusses formulating your own vision for productivity, formulating your own vision for productivity. And you may ask yourself, well, what's that look like? What's that mean? And he's going from that general definition of productivity, the boss, the manager, that's over that assembly line, so to speak, and he's faster, faster. Let's push this stuff out. And what true productivity is knowing a clear direction of where you're going. What do you truly want? And he talks about three common types of productivity. He talks about the efficiency, the success, and the freedom. Three different types: efficiency, success, and freedom. So just briefly, let's break those down real quick. Efficiency. Think of a assembly line. We're being efficient. We're trimming the waste. We're speeding up production. We're trying to find everything that we can that will cut down the time it takes to make a specific item. We are trying to find the to the detail of how we can save on scrap. And so that's kind of what the efficiency is. And the problem with that is most of us, we're not factory workers. We're knowledge workers. We work with our brain. And so while it's a common thought of productivity, it's not one that's very efficient. And the second one is success. And on page 30 in the book, he says this, and it really jumped out to me. He says it's reasonable to assume improved productivity will lead to greater success, right? Well, sort of. Pursuing the vague notion of success in and of itself can lead us into trouble. The problem is that most of us have never stopped to define what success truly means to us. It's like running a race with no finish line, or leaving for a trip with not knowing how we're going to get there or where we want to end up. So, while success is important, it has driven us to a point where we're like a hamster in a wheel. We just keep going faster and faster and faster. We're overworking ourselves. We're working ourselves to the bone. It got so bad in Japan in the 70s. They came up with a word, and that word, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce it, but karoshai, and it meant literally death by overworking yourself. So success can be a powerful motivator, but only if we understand what success truly means to us. Now again, efficiency and success, they're common objectives, but they're just ineffective. But this next one that we're going to talk about, this next objective we're going to talk about, if truly used correctly, can be a game changer in your life. And it's freedom. Productivity should free yourself to pursue what's most important to you. So it's scheduling down, it's trimming all this excess stuff out of our schedule that's not really producing what we want to produce. We're not focused on what we truly want to focus on. We're not focused on our strengths. And he gives four definitions for freedom. There's a freedom to focus. We got to learn how to focus. We got to learn what to focus on. Studies have shown that every 3 minutes, an employee is interrupted by a distraction. Every 3 minutes. Think about that. It could be a phone ringing. It could be a text message. It could be an email. It could be a news alert. It could be social media coming up on our phone. Anything. Every 3 minutes, an employee is distracted. So we've got to learn to focus, be intentional about focus. The next one is freedom to be present. Whether we work at home, whether we work in an office, whether we're with family, whether we're with friends, we have to be present in that moment. And if we're able to have that freedom to not worry about answering this email or answering this text message or answering this call, if we can just put that distraction aside and we can focus on being present right there in that moment, there's a freedom to that. There's a freedom to be spontaneous. And this is a byproduct of real productivity. And on page 36, he says something that really stuck out to me. He says, when you know you have the most important task covered and prevent yourselves from taking on more than you can comfortably handle, you'll discover freedom to be spontaneous. And I'm a spontaneous guy. I love to be able to just come home and load up the wife and the kids, and if I want to drive 4 hours up to Lambert's in Sikeston, Missouri, to go do that. I love just doing a spontaneous type trip. And if we're able to focus on our productivity, it allows us that freedom to be spontaneous. And then there's the freedom to do nothing. And he says in the book, we're always on. We're always on. Our brains aren't designed to run nonstop. When we drop things into neutral, ideas flow. We give ourselves a chance to rest. If you think about it, most of your breakthrough ideas come when you're relaxed enough to let your mind wander. Whether those be personal or business, most of those breakthrough ideas, they come when we're relaxed enough to let our mind wander. There's a freedom in being able to do nothing. So productivity is not about getting more things done, but it's about getting the right things done. Amazing things happen when we start focusing primarily on what we can do best. Delegating or eliminating those things that we can. If it's something that we can eliminate from our schedule, if it's something that we can eliminate from our to-do list, if it's something that we can delegate to someone else, it frees us up to use our strengths, those God-given talents and abilities, and put those to work. Next, I want to finish with this. What is your vision? Where do you want to go? When you clearly have your vision laid out, you know where you're going. You know what your end goal is. You can focus on that productivity and focus on it to get to where you're going. In his book, he gives a website that he offers a tool, a resource. It's www.freetofocus.com/tools. And there's a vision productivity sheet there. It's free of charge. He gives you 3 examples of 3 different vision productivity sheets, and then he gives you a blank one for you to use. And I encourage you to go visit his website. Get that out. That will help you determine exactly what your vision is. Where do you want to go? And once you do that, you're well on your way to be free to focus. Thanks for joining me this evening. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow on Chapter 2.